It is 8:08 a.m. on Thursday, January 17th. I'm not even up for the day, haven't showered or anything. I have to tell you about last night. It was Daniel's best night ever. He slept from about 11:30 to around 4:45. That's about 5 hours and 15 minutes. I read a really interesting article today. It was about how the Prius is being outsold, or at least how the Tesla is actually cutting into the market of the Prius because the Model 3 is just selling like crazy. And the person that was working for Toyota was responding and saying, hey, we don't see them cutting into our Lexus market share yet. They're only cutting into the Prius market share. And the summary of the article is that Toyota is not worried or really not thinking that much about investing too far into electrical vehicles. And this kind of just blew my mind, because if you look at the success of the Model S and you look at the success of the Model 3, avoiding selling electric vehicles makes no sense. I mean, as a consumer, as someone that follows this industry a fair amount, I'm fairly convinced that the future, no matter what type of vehicle you want, whether it's an SUV, truck, motorcycle, car, anything, is going to be an electric vehicle, just because the power distribution systems are going to be so much more efficient, right? Where if you, for some reason, if let's say gasoline is the cheapest way of producing electricity, right? Cheaper than solar, cheaper than wind, cheaper than anything, which it's not, then you could still make electricity out of that and still power a car with that. So I'm a big, huge fan of the future of EVs. And I think I figured out part of why the car manufacturers are so not all about the EVs and why they don't really sell very well. Because I think they've tried it several different times, and manufacturers who are not Tesla do not sell that many electrical vehicles. And the big problem, I believe, is the dealerships. So if you aren't aware, dealerships in the US have a government kind of installed mandate or monopoly where if a manufacturer wants to sell a car through a dealership, they have to always sell a car through that dealership or through dealerships in that state. And all these laws were written a long time ago on behalf of these dealerships who had a lot of lobbying power in the past. And so they create all these laws that benefit dealerships and kind of create a monopoly where you have to sell through a dealership. And the problem with electrical vehicles and dealerships are most of the money a dealership makes is on service, right? It's not on actually selling the cars, it's on the service of you keep coming back to maintain and do warranty repairs and all those sorts of things for your vehicle. But electrical vehicles don't have as much service. They have no oil changes, they have no transmission, they have no engine, right? Like all of the parts are much, much simpler in electrical vehicles. So there's far less service, far less maintenance. And so dealerships make less money. And all of this leads to them selling fewer electrical vehicles because the dealership's not incentivized to push electrical vehicles. And so the car manufacturers, because they can't go direct to consumers with electrical vehicles, they can't sell them. And so they keep bringing them to the market and they keep saying, these things aren't selling, people don't want them, but they're missing the point, right? The dealers have created this kind of broken system where everyone is avoiding electrical vehicles because they're not being sold properly. And I think Tesla's been very successful at kind of changing that fact. And it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of momentum for the manufacturers to understand what Tesla's done and to see it and to realize that they have to change their model or they have to change the relationship with the dealers to take advantage of the kind of electrical revolutions going on. So that was my thinking on why Tesla's been so successful. I mean, beyond doing great things from a novel engineering standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, all those different very nice things, they've been successful at selling a better car because they're new, because they chose not to go the same path as all of the other manufacturers.
I'm making cookies.
I thought you made cookies yesterday. I can see them over there.
I'm doing the icing today.
You're doing icing? Wow, you're adding colors already? You gonna do a cool frosting thing? So Friday night is supposed to be pizza night, but because Steph is going on a brand new diet tomorrow, we're gonna have pizza tonight, but we only have a really weird kind of pizza. I call it an L pizza. It looks like pepperoni, but it's in the shape of an L because it didn't quite fit in our freezer. So we're gonna see if we can flatten this out and have pizza night with Steph's amazing owl cookies that she's in the process of making. One of my ongoing desires is to really create a lot more this year. And with Daniel, I don't always have a chance to do it, but today I took a few minutes while watching him, pulled out a laptop and did it. Check this out. I wrote a blog post to go with the YouTube video that I published a couple weeks ago. It's got lots of code in it, it's got lots of details, it's got some pictures. I'm feeling pretty happy about this. Now the question is, how am I gonna market this and who should I tell? And to end things up tonight,
quick update on the desk situation. Things are looking a lot better. This house keeps getting cleaner and cleaner. We're heading in a really good direction. So that is going to be all from me tonight. Good night.